Hello everybody, welcome back to Learning Biology, and this is the last section of chapter 16. Okay, 就係最後一節啦。Alright, so in this section we're going to talk about the human endocrine system. Okay, so this is actually the other coordinator except for our brain. 係除咗我哋嘅腦之外啦，係另外一個嘅協調者嚟嘅。So of course, our brain is not really the whole part of the...is only a part of the coordinator. 佢只係一個 coordinator 嘅一部分。And which system does the brain belong to? 嗰個腦係屬於 nervous system 嘅。Alright? So other than the nervous system, the other system, which is also the coordinator, 亦都係同一時間係我哋身體嘅協調者啦。So that one is called the endocrine system. OK, 自己讀啦 endocrine system.Okay, so this endocrine system 啦，當然啦 because there is a number of 一個嘅 endocrine glands， 咁自己都要認識呢隻字啦 ，glands 就代表腺體嘅。So the glands will things or organs, structures, OK， 佢一啲嘅結構啦，都要 secrete chemicals， and those chemicals are called hormones，OK， 一啲嘅荷爾蒙啦，或者中文我哋亦都叫激素啦。Alright, so these hormones will help us regulate our body functions. 佢會去調節，佢會去控制啦，我哋嘅身體嘅機能嘅，得唔得？ Alright, so this one is called the hormonal coordination. And for hormonal coordination, there is one big chapter about it in chapter 32 to 35. Okay, 我哋嘅 book 5嗰陣時，第5本書啦， so we're going to focus on this hormonal coordination.Alright. Okay, but anyways, this chapter we're going to just dig a little deep, okay, a very shallow area. 得唔得？淨係好淺層咁樣去理解佢嘅啫。So for endocrine glands, so what are they? Okay, so endocrine glands, they are richly supplied with your capillaries. 咁 capillaries 就係微絲血管啦。Alright, so you can see that around the glands there are lots of capillaries. 然後咯But then, of course, endo 嘅相反就係 exocrine 啦 ，exocrine 即係代表係對外嘅。So for exocrine, for example, you can see the substance. 你會望到嗰個 secretion. You can see the fluid secreted. 你會望到佢漏咗啲咩液體出嚟嘅。So for example, the salivary gland. So salivary gland, of course, secrete saliva. 你嘅 tear glands 就會係 secrete tears.Alright, 你嘅淚腺啦 ，salivary glands 係唾液腺啦，或者係啦。So the gastric glands 就係你嘅消化液腺啦。Alright, so it will secrete gastric juice. Alright, so these things they have ducts. 佢哋會有一啲管道嘅。Okay, they have ducts. However, for endocrine 去我哋內分泌系統嗰陣時 there is no ducts. Sorry, there are no ducts. 佢哋冇管道㗎。So why, since there is capillaries surrounding them, 不斷有好多嘅呢啲嘅微絲血管啦圍住佢哋啦。So therefore, these hormones are secreted directly into the blood, 係直接入血嘅。So this is a very key point. Please put a star over here. When we talk about the endocrine glands, okay, so they do not have a duct. They are called the ductless glands. 佢哋係無管道嘅一啲嘅腺體嚟嘅，得唔得？Okay, and remember that most of the time, the hormones are directly secreted into the blood. And of course, they're traveled by blood. 得唔得？佢用呢一個嘅血液啦嚟運輸㗎啦。Okay, so these two diagrams is very simple. One of them is called the exocrine gland. So you can see there is a duct, 佢會有個管道啦 and the fluid, the secretion is released. Okay? 好啦 however, for the other one 啦就係呢個 endocrine glands. So there are a lot of capillaries surrounding them, and the hormones are secreted into the capillaries and traveled all around our body. 得唔得？咁就去晒我哋全身㗎啦。Okay, so next diagram, this one is not so important for now, but I want you to remember 2 of them only for now. Okay, if you are able to remember 3 of them, then that will be extra good. Okay, 好啦 so there are some major 代表最主要嘅 endocrine glands. Alright, So how do I know if it is endocrine or exocrine? So one very clear thing, can you see the fluid? Can you see the hormone? Okay? If you can see, 你能夠望得到嘅 for example, once again, saliva, tear, gastric juice, you can see that. Okay? So in that case, it is exocrine. 佢就係一個外分泌系統啦。However, if you can't see it, 你望唔到嘅，佢就係一個 endocrine system. Okay? 佢係一個 endocrine gland. Okay? So there, out of these 5 or 6 structures, I want you to remember 3 to 4 of them. Okay? So the 3 you must remember are very simple. One of them is called the pancreas. 自己都讀啦 pancreas. So remember, there is always this S. 咁中文就係胰臟啦。And we have learned about this in chapter 8 and chapter 6, I think. Okay? Then we'll talk about the food. Okay? Pancreas is one. We're going to discuss this briefly later, and as well as in chapter 18. 咁18課嗰陣時候會再見到 pancreas 㗎啦。Okay? So the main function is to regulate the blood glucose level. 血糖水平啦。Okay? So the other two I want you to remember is the ovaries and testes. Okay? 我哋嘅卵巢同埋呢個睾丸啦。So of course, these two are the sex organs of the male and female respectively. 得唔得？好啦 so what are they going to do? They are going to secrete male or female sex hormones 啦。Okay, remember, 佢哋會係分泌出男女性嘅雄性激素、雌性激素啦。Alright? And these hormones, they will stimulate development of reproductive systems. So if you remember the chapter about growth in chapter 14, okay? So you remember that 其實呢個 secretion of 呢一個嘅sex hormone only starts when we reach puberty. 得唔得？係我哋去青春期嗰陣時，佢先開始會 secrete 呢啲嘅 sex hormones 嘅。Alright? And 佢就會導致到啦我哋嘅 development of 我哋嘅 reproductive system 啦。And at the same time，會唔會有呢一個嘅 secondary sexual characteristics？會唔會有第二個性徵啦 ？Alright? So these 3 you must remember them. Okay? So for the last one, I wish that you can remember is this 自己讀啦 pituitary gland。Pituitary gland。咁我哋中文就會你會望到啦，就係呢一個嘅垂體。So this gland is very, very important. Where can you find it? Okay, so now I hope you can still remember when I talk about this again in the future. 得唔得？咁 this part, as you can see, it belongs to the cerebrum. 佢係 cerebrum 嘅一個部分嚟嘅，大腦嘅一個部分。Okay, so it controls a lot of the actions. For example, 我而家輕輕同你講講啦。So all the voluntary actions and most of the body information. Okay, for example, temperature, 你嘅體溫，你嘅 water content of the cells, 你嘅 water potential 啦 and the last one, 你嘅 hormone level. Okay, so all of them, they are controlled by this gland, pituitary gland. Alright, so remember some of the functions. 佢會 affect 你 growth 啦，因為你 growth hormone 都係 secreted by this gland 啦，你嘅 reproduction 啊或者 because 我哋講到就係你嘅 sex 嘅 hormones 啦，都會係 produced by this gland. 再嚟啦，你嘅 water content. So you may also put down yourself that the temperature is also a part controlled by this gland. Then the temperature 亦都係嘅。Okay, so for the other two, just remember the name. Okay, thyroid. Thyroid 就係代表甲狀腺啦。Okay, so it is one of the area which the doctor will touch you. Okay, 佢會掂你嘅地方啦。Because when you get inflammation，你發炎嗰陣時 ，so your thyroid gland will swell，佢會脹起身啦。Alright, so and then last one is the adrenal gland. Adrenal gland 都成日想講噶啦 ，it's the 腎上腺素。Okay， 腎上腺啦 ，adrenal. Where is it? So adrenal is here. Okay. 腎上腺啦 ，OK， so it mainly controls our metabolic rate， OK， 佢會影響我哋嘅新陳代謝速率嘅 metabolic rate， you can put it down here， 得唔得 ？So these two things, emergency action, OK， and metabolic rate, so doesn't really matter, alright， 自己記到嘅記埋佢啦。Okay, so this is the last page and about the action of hormones. And as I said, we're going to use the pancreas as an example. 咁就會用到 pancreas 啦，我哋嘅胰臟啦作為一個例子嘅。So hormones, remember, what are they in nature? 咁我哋會講啦，they are protein or lipid. So when we talk about the most of them are protein. Okay, so I hope you remember that they can only be injected into our blood. 佢係要注入我哋嘅 blood 嗰度啦 ，but they cannot be eaten. They cannot be drunk. Okay， 佢唔可以飲，唔可以食嘅。Because if it passes through your stomach, 你嘅 protein will be broken down by the protease. 得唔得？如果佢係 protein in nature 嘅話 it will be broken down by the protease. 得唔得？甚至係 lipase 啊。Alright, so you have to inject these hormones into your blood directly. 係直接咁樣嘅，得唔得？ So we say that they are the chemical messengers, alright, but it doesn't really matter. Mainly 啦，最主要都係 regulation， 係佢會協調咗、控制、調節咗 our body processes, okay, and the internal environment. Alright, and these hormones are only needed 係淨係需要幾多啊 ？Only a very small amount of them, needed in a very small amount. 得唔得 ？Okay, so remember, for the endocrine glands, they are released into the blood. After releasing into the blood, they will travel all around our body. 去到我哋周圍全身啦，然之後啦 ，and they only go to the target organs. 佢淨係會 act on， 即係個意思就係代表佢淨係會影響啦。It is going to affect or it is going to find the target organs only. Because hormones is very much similar to enzyme. 佢兩個係好相似嘅 ，so they are very specific in action. 咁唔該，呢個幫我寫低啦。Alright, specific in action. OK， 佢哋好專一㗎。Alright, so they are only doing this work and throughout their life. 得唔得 ？So for the target organs， 當我哋講到呢個 target organ 嗰陣時 ，they have special receptors that will have reaction with the or your interaction, they will have interaction with the hormones. 得唔得 ？Okay, so only the target organs have the receptor to the target hormones. Alright, 好啦，所以啦 ，after binding, after your interaction， 佢就會 give 一個 specific response， 佢會有一個特定嘅回應嘅。Okay, so this is an example. We're going to talk more deeply in chapter 18, and this is about the pancreas reaction. 得唔得？ So first one, carbohydrates 一啲碳水化合物啦 ，broken down into glucose， 佢會變成咗我哋嘅葡萄糖啦。So these glucose will absorb into the blood。咁既然 after it enters our blood, what will happen？ 你嘅 blood glucose level 就會去 increase 咗啦，就 raise 咗啦。Alright， and then therefore 你嘅 receptor in the pancreas 就會 detect 到啦，就會感受到。And then the pancreas will start doing something。你嘅胰臟會做啲嘢咯喎。It will produce more 胰島素呢個字啦。Okay, this one is called insulin。佢會產生多啲嘅胰島素 insulin。And after producing more insulin, it is again the insulin。佢哋係一個 hormone 嚟㗎嘛 ，they are released into the blood。然後 transported throughout the body and then go to the target organs. So where are the target organs? There are two areas， 有兩個地方嘅。And in here, it only says about one of them, and that organ is the liver。佢就同你講咗肝臟啫 ，is a target organ。So you can also put down another target organ will be the muscles. Okay, so muscle will also store some glycogen。佢會儲存過多嘅葡糖啦，變成咗 glycogen 嘅。Okay, so for the excess glucose, it will be stored as glycogen. So glycogen, if you remember, is the storage organ in animals。佢係一個儲存嘅一個儲備啦，喺動物嚟講，得唔得？ So for plants it is starch, for animals it is glycogen. 好啦 so this insulin will go to the specific organ, okay, that is the liver. 然之後啦就會 interact， 就會同佢哋溝通啦 with the cells, okay， 一啲叫 specific cells。然後啦 so these liver cells 就會點啊 ？They will convert the excess glucose. Please highlight the word excess, put a star， 係將多餘額外嘅啫。嘅 glucose to glycogen， 自己度讀呢隻字啦。So convert 係 excess 嘅 glucose 變咗做 glycogen。Alright， so after converting them into glycogen, your blood glucose level will decrease, get back to normal. Okay, return to 一個 normal level 啦。Okay, so that's all about this part, and there is only one last paragraph. This paragraph 就講啦，呢一個 action 其實係 widespread 嘅，佢會影響得好大㗎。Okay, so for example, it may not only happen in liver， 正如我啱所講啦 ，it may also affect all the muscles in your body， okay， 或者 most muscles of the body， 我哋就會講啦 ，muscle 係 skeletal muscle。We will talk about that in chapter 17，得唔得？好啦 ，but then it can also act on several target organs 嘅。For example, give you one example 啦 ，this is important, alright? For example, your growth hormones. Where did I go? Sorry. Okay, for example, like growth hormone. So of course, your growth hormone doesn't only affect one organ. 佢唔會淨係影響一個器官㗎嘛。It is going to affect all your body, the whole body. Alright? 而且啦 ，at the same time，除咗 widespread 之外啦 ，affecting more than one organ 之外啦 ，it is also long-lasting，係長期嘅。Alright? Okay, so this part, I think that you can look at it yourself, but this is again very important. 就會講到啦，呢個 hormonal coordination 同埋呢個 nervous coordination. So this time is comparing the two coordinators. 佢比較緊兩個協調者啦，一個係 from the nervous system 神經系統 ，the other one is the hormonal or endocrine system 一個內分泌系統啦。Okay, so as you can see these two systems， 然後我講幾個重點嘅嘢啦 ，components。So for hormone, remember, we include the blood. For nervous system, or they include the brain and the spinal cord. Okay? 然後 their nature, 佢哋嘅本質，唔該寫翻低個中文字 their nature. Okay? So they are 乜嘢 in nature? For example, protein in nature, 乜嘢 in nature? So hormone, they are chemical in nature. We don't say, you can say protein or lipid as well. 得唔得？ However, for nervous coordination 嘅話啦，佢哋會有 electric in nature、electrical in nature， 例如我哋嘅 nerve impulses，or chemical in nature 就係我哋嘅 neurotransmitters。Alright， 好啦，佢哋嘅 roots 代表佢哋嘅路徑啦。One of them is transferable in blood by blood， 另外啦就係 by neurons 嘅。Okay，so hormone level remember， so our nervous control is very fast，especially for reflex 定係 voluntary action 啊 ，especially for 我哋嘅 reflex action, it is super fast. 但係 for hormone level, for example, 你嘅 growth hormone again, it can take a very long time. You are going to grow until you are age 30, 40, maybe even more. 得唔得？ You keep on growing, so the speed is slow. 得唔得？ So for the area of response 啊，佢影響嘅範圍 for hormone level, it is very widespread. Growth hormone, the whole body. 但係 however for nervous control 係 localized, only a very small area， 係一個特定嘅區域嘅啫。Duration 佢個影響時間啦 ，hormone level long lasting, as I said, growth hormone again, so from day 1 to day 60 years old, perhaps. Okay， 但係 nervous 嘅 duration 咧係 short lived. You're withdrawing your hand, your leg is kicking up, only for a very short time. Okay。好啦，最尾啦 ，about their importance， 佢哋嘅重要性啦喎。OK，so the hormone level 佢會 control 一個 long term 嘅 process， 係一個長時間 process。For example， 你嘅 growth 啦，你嘅 reproduction。However 啦 ，for 你嘅 nervous control 嗰陣時，佢會俾一啲 rapid response， 一啲好快嘅 response。Alright，so mainly for if you remember 啦，就係講到你嘅 reflex action 嗰陣時咧，就會係 to protect you from further danger 嘅，得唔得？Okay, so that's all for this video. I'm sorry it's quite long, taking up for 20 minutes, despite it's only for 2 pages. Alright? 好啦，咁然後啦，接落嚟呢個部分，I'll give you 5 seconds and then check the answer later yourself after you do it. 得唔得 ？Okay? So let's count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright? 好啦，嚟啦喎，然後啦 ，true or false？ 問題啦 ，first one 你會見到啦 ，endocrine glands release hormones。Through ducts. So remember, endocrine glands, another word is the ductless glands. Alright? So the answer is F. Wrong. Okay? 好啦，嚟啦 ovary is a part of the endocrine system. The answer is yes. Okay? Ovary produce 呢個係 female hormones 啦 female sex hormones 啦 Okay? Hormones 係 transported by blood. Okay? The answer is yes. And to target organs. The answer is also yes.So T and T. Number 4. All hormones are protein in nature. The answer is no, because they can also be lipid in nature. 好啦 hormone acts on one target organ only. So some of them are specific in nature. 呢個係冇錯嘅，佢哋有特定嘅 人選嘅 they are specific to certain organs. But remember, just once again, growth hormones 一個生長激素啦 ，so it acts to your whole body 成個身體嘅。So the answer is no. Okay, so not only one target organ, maybe more than that. 好啦，下邊嗰條啦，咁就話咯 ，compare your nervous coordination 啦 and hormonal coordination. 好啦 ，both 就會 involve transmission of messages 啦 to your effector to give response. OK， 首先啊，會唔會都係 transmit 一個 message 去 effector 咧，然後俾 response 咧 ？The answer is seems yes. 咁你只不過 put tick over here first. 好啦 ，both have widespread, long-lasting effects. The answer is no 咯，因為你嘅 nervous coordination 係 short-lived，OK， 係短時間啦，同埋係 localized 嘅，係一個細範圍嘅。OK， so 2 is wrong. The answer must be 1 and 3. Alright, but then let's look at number 3. 就係啦 ，both involve chemicals. 佢哋係 chemical in nature 咯 ，in the transmission of message. Okay, so hormone level of course they are chemical. 而你嘅 nervous 嘅話，你嘅 neurotransmitter 都可以係 chemical 嘅。Okay, so number 1 is actually correct. 點解會 correct 啊？因為 because for the hormones it is transmitted by blood and to the target organs. Target organ 就係你嘅 effector 啦。And then for the nervous coordination， 當然啦係 transmit through 呢啲嘅 neurons 啦，然後去到我哋嘅 effector， 去到我哋嘅 muscle 啦，去 give response， 得唔得？ So the answer is B. Okay, so that's all for this video, and I will see you in class and discuss more about this chapter 16. Okay, so if you don't understand anything, please feel free to find me. That's all for this video, and bye bye.